welcome to Cartoon Drawing Studio. Today we're going to be drawing a superhero elephant. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your support. Okay, so grab your materials and let's get started. Alright, here we go. So in order to draw this superhero elephant, as usual, we are going to start with the elephant's head. And that's going to be just a simple circle. Remember, at this phase, you should press the pencil as lightly as possible because we're going to erase these lines at the end anyways. And what we're trying to do is find the shapes that we want for our character. So we have our simple circle here. I'm now going to pull out this shape here, and which are some cheeks for our elephant character. So it's kind of like this puffed up oval coming out here from the bottom. So I'm going to divide the face in half, these perspective lines that are going to tell me where the eyes and the middle of the elephant's face is going to be. But before we flesh that out, I want to map out the rest of the pose. For the body of the elephant, I'm going to use this bean shape. So I'm looking for this bean shape. It's going to be a puffy, big bean at the bottom because he is a chunky little cute elephant. So we have this bean shape for the elephant's body. Perfect. For the legs, let's map out the legs. We're going to start with, this is essentially marking off the hip where it inserts. And look at the distance. I'm going to go with a really short leg. So this is the hip, comes down, this is the sole of the leg. Essentially, it's kind of like a rectangle shape. I bent mine a little bit like this, but it's a rectangle and I'm playing a little bit with the side shapes, but this is the shape of the bottom leg. The other leg is going to be somewhere here and it bends this way and then down. So it's got that superhero pose like he's flying and the leg is bent. So now that I've mapped out that line, I'm filling in the rest of the shape for that bottom leg. So I have one rectangle going down and the other line this way, and it bends. It's a rectangle that's really bent. Okay, the other arm is going to attach right here. And it's going to do this. It's going to go back and then down, trying to keep it also like these short, stumpy arms because it's a cute little elephant. Back and down. This one's going to attach right here, and it's going to go straight up and end somewhere right there. Now that I've mapped that out, I can fill it in. So it's really a rectangle that's coming down like this. There's a rectangle for that arm, and this one is a rectangle going back and down. So it's like a cylinder or a rectangle that we've bent to fit into the place like that. Perfect. So we have the pose of our elephant character. This is our first pass where we want to rough out our figure. So that now we're going to start the next pass, and we're going to start with the eyes. So I'm going to draw an oval right here for that eye and another oval for this eye. So we have, because I had that perspective line, I've now mapped out each eye. I'm going to draw the pupils looking straight up because he's flying and he's looking up. And now in order to map out the eyebrows, I'm going to use this technique where I draw a bigger oval around the eye, bigger oval around the eye to find where I want that eyebrow to go. Okay, perfect. Now for the elephant's trunk, this is where the trunk starts, right here at this bend. because that's why I gave myself the perspective line. So, you know, we could do this too. We could give ourselves a little guide here. So I'm thinking about the flow of the trunk. It's going down like this, starting here and coming down. It's really a rectangle or a cylinder that bends like this. So here is the other side of the cylinder that bends. So if you guys can see that shape here, you see this bent rectangle or cylinder. Now at the front of it, there is this triangle, and that is the front of the elephant's nose. And now here, at the bottom part, it's going to turn into his mouth, right? So the bottom part of the cylinder becomes his mouth. And now, since we're adding the details, I'm going to go ahead and make his mouth open. So you guys can see this pulling out the bottom of the mouth there, and then I'm closing it here. And there's a loop underneath it that turns into his head. Perfect. All right. Actually, it comes into the cheek right there. There's the cheek. Perfect. Now we want to get the ears in there. Those are large shapes too. So the ears can go up like this and then back down like that. So it's almost like a shark fin, up, down, and then we're going to loop it around like this, like a wave. And it attaches down here. And then the same thing on the other side. It's going to go up, down, and then a wave underneath like that. And then inside the ear, it attaches here, comes up and down. Same thing on this side, up and down on the inside. Okay, great. So we've got the head mapped out, and now we're going to keep working our way down. We already filled in the arms. Now, this is a superhero elephant, so we got to kind of start thinking about his costume a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and divide his body into this is the pelvis and this is the torso. So I'm giving him this division is going to be his belt. The middle of the beam is really right here. This is the middle of the beam because he's facing in this direction. So that is going to tell me where the center of his belt is going to go, and also where I'm going to put a logo for him because he's a super elephant. The logo is going to be kind of like this triangle shape. A triangle with a rectangle at the top, and it's here towards the corner. So now that I have that mapped out, because I found the center of his chest, I'm gonna go ahead and put the letter E in there. If you want your super elephant to have an E too. Super elephant. Perfect. All right, so we're working our way down. We're gonna finish the details of the legs. So for his legs, this cylinder going down, I'm gonna cut it right there because I'm gonna make that part of his pants, and I'm gonna cut it right here because that's the other side of the pants, and I want to give him his toes exposed. So we have one toe here, another toe, and these look kind of like gumdrops, and another one right there. We have 3 toes on this side, and then we're gonna have maybe 2 toes exposed on this side, 1 and 2. Perfect. All right, and for his hands, we're gonna have these kind of fingernails on this side, and then maybe the other 2 here on this side, 1 and 2. Perfect. All right, and we also want to close his arm here on this side because this is going to be the top of his suit, and the top of his suit is coming right there. So now the only thing really we have left to do is 2 more details. First, we forgot to add the tail. So we're going to have this flowing tail coming out from behind. There's one, and then he has a drop shape at the end. Now I can fill in tail. I'm gonna fill it in, and we have this drop shape there. But we have to add a cape for this superhero flying elephant. So the cape is gonna be like a rectangle. So it's gonna come out from here. It's a rectangle that we're kind of bending. So here's the top of the rectangle, here's the side, and then it's gonna come back up and come in here, a long skinny rectangle that we have bent. And then at the bottom, it's gonna have this wave like this. Here's the wave, and we're gonna try to, so there's the wave, and it comes here and attaches right there. So this is the cape. This part here, we're not gonna ink. I just use that as a guide so you can see how the cape bends like that. But we're not gonna ink that in. So the cape is also gonna attach right here at the shoulder. Comes out this way, and it attaches on this side too. Perfect. And that is essentially our completed superhero flying elephant sketch with pencil. So now we're gonna put our pencil aside, and we're gonna grab our ink pen or Sharpie, and we're gonna go through this and try to decide what are our final lines. So I'm gonna speed this part up at home and let you ink your super elephant at home. And there we have our finished inked super elephant. What we have to do now is grab our eraser, and we are going to erase the pencil marks. So we're left with our final clean drawing. And here we have our super elephant character. I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more drawing lessons. I really appreciate your support. Okay guys, that's it. Keep on drawing, and thanks for watching.